last year, my wife has been in love with things that her coworkers have given her. She comes back. Once we're married, my ex and I met in college, and we're in love. All 4 years of high school. A year or more before I caught her having sex with a coworker in 2013, I married her. This is how I felt. She told me that they love each other. They didn't mean to hurt anyone. Blah blah blah. 3 months later we broke up. I was crushed by my worst enemy. Over a year, I've worn this. She married someone at some point. In the end, when I got tired of being sad and wanted to move on, I completely let go of her. My heart truly moved on. In my job, I'm a programmer, but I also work for one of the biggest software companies in the world as a pre-sale solutions consultant. That job has been great. I've been to every continent and every major city in the world. My life has been a lot of fun. In the past, I didn't date very seriously I'm not against casual dating. I've dated beautiful women from all over the world and I'm not afraid of it. My marriage didn't work out, and after that, I decided that wasn't the path I wanted to go down. I've been happy and sometimes lonely, but mostly happy. I had decided to stop going on trips for a while. So now I'm in charge of a big city in the US during breakfast on Saturday. I'm reading the news, Facebook, Reddit, and so on. Someone says, "Oh my God." I thought it sounded like one of the women I work with. So I looked up to say hello and my jaw dropped. I was shocked. It's my ex-wife. I live more than 2,000 miles away from our old home. Almost 6 years. I haven't seen her in person. She is there. I was shocked. I could only get as high as I could. I don't want to say it, but she looked great. She said I looked great. If I was busy, she asked if I was free and said that she didn't want to bother me, but that she'd love to talk. That's what I said. We ended up talking for more than 2 hours and kept going for a few more hours. During our walk, we talked about people we knew. The elephant in the room was still there when she asked me if I had ever been married again. I said no, once was enough. She looked sad about that. During our walk, we kept quiet for maybe a minute. It's true. It was a mistake for you to use. I'm so sorry. It was so amazing that it has haunted me ever since I saw it. You did nothing wrong. I told you that you were in love with someone else and married them. Because I couldn't stop you, you did it anyway. You should be happy. Are you happy? Then I asked. When she laughed, she made a big snore joke. One of those jokes. People laugh. She told me about the A and her font all the time. And he ended up cheating on her and leaving her for 2 years in a marriage, so she ended up alone. Sorry that happened to you, but I'm sorry about that. I know how bad that can be. I've been there. Smile when her heart was broken. All she could think about was that she had done the same thing to me and that made her very angry. It took her almost a year to get back together, and then she went to therapy to figure out why she's so bad. She said that was very important. Then, a few years ago, she finally grew up and learned to take responsibility for her own actions. She moved to this city because she has an aunt she likes who lives there. After her second divorce, before she turned 30, she had to make a lot of changes in her life. The changes could be seen. She's a lot more mature now. I had to get ready for the evening with my friends. So we said our goodbyes, gave each other our contact information, and agreed to meet up for a cup of coffee and talk some more when we were done. We have been doing that for a long time now. We're both of us. No harm done, right? She wants more from me. I should want her back. There are hints in her words that are bigger than the Pacific Ocean. I'm not a fool. There is something about her that makes my heart beat faster. Censor, I can't talk about things I haven't seen in anyone else because I haven't seen them yet. I think it's because we have a lot of chemistry with each other. I want to be more than just friends with you. I want to hug and kiss her. She wants that too, but I haven't done anything. I am held by what? Scared of getting hurt again. If she'd been a casual girlfriend who broke up with me, I would have quickly moved on and forgotten about her and found someone else. Though, she wasn't. My wife and the love of my life was her. Dreamed about her coming back into my life. It's here. And I'm afraid, too. I don't know if I can give her that much of myself. I don't think I can. Again, I'm much more careful with my heart. In the past, she wasn't who she is now. We've both grown a lot. I'd already be in love. I'm not sure if I want to fall in love with her again. Leave the past behind. There were a lot of people I could have met here, but I had to meet her. It had to be hers. In December, we married again and now we're pregnant. A lot has changed in her. So have I. We're no longer kids. You and I are now in an adult relationship. It is better than when we kept the chemistry we have always had frozen. It's also, I couldn't be more excited. I want to address the claims that she found me. There was no way she did, because she moved to the city where we lived before I did. She had really moved on, went to therapy, and had grown a lot as a person by then. Just by chance, I was in that diner. We think it had to be fate or something else that came in between. If we were religious, we wouldn't have run into each other in a city we hadn't been to before. There's no doubt that the universe had a plan for this. Story to tell: this happened to me. I was 28F and my neighbor was 30ZF. I heard Zev berating and abusing her child, 5M, for not doing homework on time. As well, I can't get my mind off of it. My neighbors have always been very noisy, but now they are even more so. Because I've heard people shouting for so long, I've kind of grown used to it. I thought it was because they were being loud. The girl and the boy are 4-5 years old. Last night was terrible. So I put my ear to the wall and I could hear. In kindergarten, the mom was yelling at her child about having to do their work. As if you were still in kindergarten and didn't know this, she said things like that. No, I don't know. There is no way this is easy. You put a space there and a line here. This is what you did. People are going to think that you're going to be 10 when you go to school at this rate. Many of us are done. In this case, I'm done. In this case, I'm done. Close the ups. At one point, she was sobbing loudly for about 10 seconds, which made me feel like I was at a show. We're kids and we're trying to hug her. She told him not to come over here. You can't touch me. Go to your father. I don't feel very good. She must be very stressed. Getting good grades on your homework is a lot of work. The kids go to school in person. People who I see are always very sweet and happy when I see them. Her dad, who was always sweet, holds both. The mom doesn't even know that I'm in Texas. She always looks. What's up? Our usual way of going. I care a lot about telling people about this. Even if this is white, my mom was not a saint, alcoholic or physically abusive when I was young. Damn, this was bad. Even though it was so upsetting, I cried. As you can see above, it was very ugly. It was not a good night's sleep for me. Suppose I report it. What would happen? The CPS is bad and can make things even worse. When I heard him, I didn't pay much attention. She told him to go to bed at around 7 p.m. How often must this happen? I thought it had to do with sports because they get so rowdy at game nights. TLDR, hearing my neighbor yell at her child for not doing his homework made me feel really uncomfortable and unsure. If there is something to do. What would you do with mine? In story 3, I'd feel bad for the little kids. I get a bad grade from my girlfriend because I look bad in my clothes. Her new clothes aren't good enough for her, 19F, who doesn't like them. To get a vintage-inspired look, I'm trying to play around with my clothes a little bit. I usually wear jeans, a hoodie from college, and a scarf. My girlfriend told me that I looked bad in light blue jeans. I don't think she meant it to be mean. Then, that isn't who you are. A few days ago, we took a few pictures and she made me change into a different outfit. The reason I was proud of her was because she wanted me to dress how she wanted me to. Is this something I'm going too far with? Or is this just another thing? TLDR? My girlfriend doesn't like the way I do things.